looks very tight, right? 3 digital twins. We have like not just the twins, like 6 like together. Okay, so yeah, so actually this is the station of my doctor student, and so she cannot come here, so I try to represent her a little bit. So I can see that like most of us and familiar with what is digital twins, and I try to not like waste too much time to introduce digital twin, but I still want to highlight something regarding the difference between the simulated data, synthetic data, and also what makes digital twin different. And you see that the difference between this session and any other session, it seems like George and we are the only session heard with all 3 marketers, right? I know this conference dominated by the IS folks. Marketing, we should have some room here. So when they do some real marketing questions, and great question, Autumn, as well. So we are going to skip some of the like detailed like technology stuff, and still on the develop. And the big questions like I do have is especially for the doctor student, if you don't have like the resource like from Columbia, like 25, like 100, and each of them pays $37, right? What you can do? So we need to try to find solutions, right? So at least some of the publicly available data will still have something we can do, especially from the very beginning, except the one you guys, Dr. Student, I think, okay. So this is the framework we're going to talk and think about like what industry what we want to do. So this is not like a digital twin. Everybody call it a fancy name, but this is not actually very far from us. And German and already mentioned this many years ago. The digital twin idea is from the Industry 4.0. So if you read any of the guidance from McKinsey and BCG, they talk about like Industry 4.0 for many times. And you have the real like object, and they want to build a system. So make sure digital twin is actually it's a system. It's not a model. If you consider about digital twin as a model, in the end, the hard problem is like we're not able to transfer this model and try to replicate it. Because digital twins, the data is the updating data, and it's intelligent data. You're able to collect the data from sensor, Hirsch like topic, and also from George, and you also have the way to collect the new data. It's the way you try to representative of the model and try to manage the data. So the idea is how they are able to information collected and make decisions and try to do some interaction with intelligence. So it's a system from the physical object to the real like synthetic like data to make decisions help you. But it has been widely used. You can see that for the manufacturer and also the urban planning, healthcare. So these are already well established, and I think a lot of like a real estate agent, they build this ideas ready to help like those builders as well. So manufacturer widely used. But the question is here, what marketings we can do. So I want to emphasize the digital twins for this project we're working on is a little bit different from the first 2, is we are actually talking about digital twins of the consumers. Okay, so see that? Consumers, that's the only difference, make our marketers different from the ICE scholars. Otherwise, all of us doing the platform, marketers, and we are doing more focus on the consumers. So the idea is that are we able to build a virtual representative of the consumers? Okay, so there's a virtual representative, not from those like from the marketer standpoint, platform standpoint. It's from the consumer standpoint. Number 1, and number 2, to answer, I think the questions like one of the early questions regarding the segmentation as well. So I think we have many ways. Yeah, George, you can correct me. I try to like build together. The project is like we want to learn the individual preference, not just the segmentation, because we want to build individual personas. The question back is really good, and we want to understand their language, their behavior, their demographic as well. Sometimes like Autumn's questions, like whether they are answered by agentic or not, we're going to see whether we have some public available data to validate on that part as well. So finally, the goal is we want to simulate how the real world, those consumers, individual consumers persona, they think, they feel, and make decisions. So you can think about this. We do a lot of like firms, they do a lot of personalized recommendation and try to more interactive. So this digital twin we plan to build is more like personalized and interactive. The idea is more like interactive. If you're going to chatbot with somebody, you're not going to answer the question once. You're going to more interactions, like agent to agent, they talk together. I saw multiple papers yesterday talk about the agent to agent and talk, and we're going to see whether consumers they're able to interact with. So the idea here is, in addition to the personalized, predictive, we want to make it more interactive. So that's the definition, and we try to propose. And how come from this definition? So this is anything we want to use, and you can use it public available, and we also validate some of the open source and open AI stuff, and also provide some solutions if here is very expensive. Georgia and I discussed about where's the cheap way to do the open source, use the different zip codes. So I'm going to provide some solutions as well. So the idea why we make it good is actually from a psychological theory. I know that so this conference mainly focused on the analytical link and also the modeling folks, and we try to think about from the consumer behavior standpoint. There's a very existing established behavioral literature. The classic 11 equation talk about personal related component versus environment related component. I'm going to talk why I want to introduce this kind of terminology here. Internal means it's a stable, personalized disposition, and also external means dynamic. It's keep changing. Think about the questions he just showed. Some of them could be considered internal, some of them could be considered external, and why it matters here. So the ideas we heard about many talks from yesterday, I think the very beginning fine-tuning stuff from Gavin back, and talk about the fine-tuning stuff, and so the limitation from both RAG and fine-tuning. We don't want to focus too much about the prop engineers. We learned this for many talks here. So there is currently, if you directly use or adopt, I will use the word adopt the large language model. For the RAG, you have a very high external knowledge base, which I'm going to explain. For the data set I'm used, what means external knowledge base. And also for the fine-tuning, you have the model adoption requirement. So the idea here is that can we combine both of them? So are we able to propose a hybrid model? And of course, the models we cannot explain too much, given I only have less than 5 to 6 minutes. We can talk after offline. So the idea is that can we incorporate this psychological theory, which talk about internal versus external component, to fully explain when we should use RAG, when we should use the fine-tuning, and by the way, I heard the Reddit, they cannot let you fine-tuning. For those who do the Reddit fine-tuning, you get a sue letter. Reddit announced it, so be careful. So, and try to re-paraphrase not like fine-tuning, like external component, something like that. So that's the way to do it. And so the big question is that internal customer trend and want to mimic the custom action, and also try to understand outside without firm knowledge base, because no matter what kind of product that consumer buy, it's very hard for them to keep changing their product description, right? An iPhone, you buy a new iPhone 16 or 17, how many features really changed? Not too much. So the big framework we are going to talk is a methodology framework, and starting from the base, any of the base large language model, and we are able to fine-tuning, and we are also able to understand from the user. For example, this user is a marketer. You want to build a chatbot. You want to use any of the traditional embedding work. Yeah, we should give the Adam every time I saw him give a credit. First embedding work. His job, 2019. So the embedding work, and talk about this to the context-specific data, and we want to put them back to compare the difference. So the B here is a digital twin, and F function, including the personal and external. So that's the major focus here. So this is the personal and external, and one part of the external things we're going to use the fine-tuning, and internal things we're going to call the RAG. And I'm going to give an example why sometimes we can call RAG and why times we use that as well. So the data we are using, very simple. And of course, the data has a big limitation, which we are going to collect more data. I told George already, so we don't have that resource. We want to know some of the data from Amazon is a little bit sensitive. So we have the review history data. The big idea is that are we able to use some of the public available data? Amazon, very nice, and somebody from UCSD, computer science, public, that 27 years historic data. We want to use their prior shopping behavior to predict their, in addition to whether they're going to buy something or not, and what kind of review they're going to write. That's most important. You want to know why they buy. You also want to know what kind of review they might write in the end as well. So this data set is pretty good. It's starting from 27 years, and you have the user review data, and you also have the product meta-ability. You have the description of each the product. And you also have this number of reviews. But the hardest part for us is publicly available data. And as I said, this is the starting for this digital twin project. We have a sequential project later on. So the big point here is that we are only able to find the 304 consumers, individual customers. Why? Because we need to know more about their background. So we have a threshold for any of the customers, write at least 400 reviews. So during this 27 years, think about it. Not too many, right? Why? We have to write papers, not write reviews. So we are only able to identify 304 customers. They are writing these reviews and crossing these reviews, and about 150,000 products as well. So the product level data, and we have at least their last 50 purchase and their last 50 non-purchase items. So that's a tricky part. It's a dummy variable, right? So we are able to know that their last from all the products they bought, and what is their last 50 purchase, what is their last 50 non-purchase, because we have to actually trick everybody of this 304 people, and it's across 21 products. So we want them to be diverse, not just by tablet, not just by toothpaste. We want them to buy as much as possible to understand what's going on. So that is the big idea we want to know. Of course, it's better to know their gender. The only thing we can do is to detect based on their name, right? If Martin maybe is a male. So we also want to know their location. We try our best to do the proxy, but of course, the best way is doing a survey and contact that as well. So that is starting. So the model here is, as I said, we're starting with the XI here simply is the product information, and YI is the review information. So any of the product review information. So and then you have the base large language model from the framework I show on the right corner, and you fine tuning them and keep updating. So here's updating function, similar as any of the a database we talk already. So we fine tune the data set contain the product information, and we initialize the pre-trained weight. And the goal is simple. Any of the loss function, same thing. We want to maximize the likelihood of the target sequence. So that's the technical part, and we have also some form solutions, which I'm going to skip it. And the big idea is not just to predict the likelihood, yes or no. The big idea, if you think about this framework, the goal is the prediction. Whether they buy product A, product B, last 50, right? Product C, product. But another contribution, because of large language model, we want to also generate what kind of the tokens they are going to write. Not just a buy. Assuming that they're going to buy this product, and what is the reviews they're going to leave. Because the big important thing, we want to know why they buy this product. Why in the end they complain about this product, not just a yes or no. So that is something large language model can help us to do. We want to see that the most likely output after they choose yes or no. Because if they choose no, they stop it. If they choose yes, and what is a possible outcome, they might write in the end as well. So if you use RAG, you're going to retrieve the information product C, because we consider this is external knowledge. Product information, out of these 21 product features, usually don't change too much, right? Sometimes they change, but during the time, if you check about any of the scanner data, not too much. And so we use chain one, so there's some posts using that as well. And we have the RAG and with the fine tuning. So these are the basic settings for this model, and we're going to not explain too much. And so simple. Let's go to see the result. So this is only one example. We have another interesting political campaign data, which we recruiting real Trump supporter, 500 real Trump supporter. They indicate their political preference already. This is better than already data. You don't have that. I have that. So we're going to collect more stuff on spend on that time as well. So, but it might not be a good case to show here, okay? So I show the Amazon review data case. So you are the customer and who frequently purchase, and or would you like to buy the product? And the first answer, yes. If you answer yes, please write a review for the product. If no, and you just reply no and they stop it. Okay, so if you write something, they're going to figure out the Amazon product. Remember, we have the last 50 purchase, real purchase behavior, because your training was the training data as well. So this is the result coming from digital twin. Yes, very cool and comfortable. And this is the verified purchase. The beauty function, if you go to see Amazon website, right now the default setting is the verified purchase. That means they own this product and also they bought this product from Amazon. But think about this, very beginning, Amazon does not have this functions, right? They have all different everybody generic review as well. So we did the baseline comparison. Okay, so you see, this comparison is for Stefan. We were together in the research camp in Korea. He told me you have to compare the baseline model with the product information as well. This change. I did a comparison. You see, that's a homework for me during the summer. So so this is something. The result is pretty good, and so precision recall and any of the things for digital twins, and we actually outperform based large language model and plus RAG with all those like product relevant information. That means consumer, assuming they consider all this information, the real world, nobody's going to, if you buy an iPhone, the consumer guide provided 19 product features. Are you going to evaluate all of them? Impossible. Only very few features, but these features change, right? Sometimes we let color, sometimes we let screen size. So we're going to compare all this RAG product information at a time and also the digital twin result. So we also did the what-to-vec and also embedding model to compare the cosine similarity based on the text the large language model generates reviews and also the real verified purchase review. You can see it's still very high. So PS correlation and similarity still very high. The result is very good. We have more than 10,000 truth positive case. And so we're done. So like the contribution here, we want to introduce a psych theory ground digital twin to help the consumers. And we also want to combine to build the methodology side, I would say the hybrid model to like balance the RAG and fine tuning. So it's a showcase about e-commerce, and we have different things as well. So this is basically, the job is to, the big idea, you have a chatbot to extend from the synthetic data, which we talk a lot these days, to the synthetic agent. And we can do many things, right? We can reduce the cost for ROI. We can also predict like consumers, any of the things, and maybe Hertz public could be implanted to the data as well, and George data as well. So I won't spend time because my time is off, and so that's my time. Thank you so much. So I don't have questions. Pretty good. I can leave for lunch. Oh, you have a question? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
oh, yeah?
It's an amazing presentation and amazing promise, basic prediction.
Yeah, but the data is not so good. Yeah, so anybody can provide me some individual consumer level demographic data. So yeah, feel free to reach me, okay? We can collaborate, yeah.
Yeah, basically the prediction is what is the most promised by the AI stuff. And if we really want to apply this and turn this into a real commercial industry level product, what is the missing part, or what is not ready?
Amazing. So I actually talked to some firms step by step from the last summer. My summer job is basically talk to a lot of companies. So the missing part is like we are missing is we need to build a real persona. This is not a real persona for this limitation for this one. We don't have like the preference, their hobby, and their like age, and also any information, personalized information. That's a big missing for here. We try to, so their data have it, so they're pretty good, but they don't provide enough DVs. I told them already. They want to hide a DV, publish their own paper, but they want to produce something. That's my thinking. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. So we want to make it individual level and like a demo data. That is something we really want to incorporate for the next things. And the second thing is like there might be some shock for the consumers, like changing. You have to keep collecting data. Think about it, like your hobby might be changed because of some external shocks. Your personas may be changed. You don't think about you change your personality. Actually, we do these days. Your preference, your buying behavior change a lot because of outside. 15 years ago, if you choose to buy an iPhone, maybe the screen size, the most important thing you like. But today, who care about screen size? 10 years ago, you care about the color. So consumers' preference keep changing. This required us to keep learning the individual behavior, switching and changing. That's a big limitation for the data. And we want to really have a campaign. The best way is we can eliminate the focus group. That part can help the marketer. But the good thing is that are we able to help the real campaign to reduce the ROI cost and like virtual advertising? That is something I'm interested in focus on that for next step. And I'm actually writing some case with some of the Singapore and Hong Kong to promote that case, okay? If you're not able to use the data, I don't have that data, you use my case, okay, as well. Yeah.
If you have no other questions, I have a comment about your marketing and consumers and IS comment. Yeah. And depends on IS people. We take up consumers as users.
Oh, yeah.
And there are only two industries, let's say that software and illegal drugs.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. I think, no. So the reason that I think, no, that's a great comment. I agree with you. The point is, I just want to think about marketers. We are like a minority here at the conference. I want to speak something for the marketing strike.
All the same family.
Okay, yeah, for sure, yeah. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.